Video. I have divided obviously my the whole project into 3 parts. So you must have watched by now part 1 and part 2, and I just want to recap that what you did there. In the part 1, you simply picked up data from Raspberry Pi Pico and stored it inside the file and put into a more human-friendly format. And let me show you what you did. So what you see on my screen, this is what you did. You pick up the data, save it in this format, right? Time and all that. Although I don't agree, it's very human-friendly. Look at the spaces and all those. It's still very complicated to process it, but you did good there. So, and in the second step, you wrote a small searcher function in the second video where you asked the user to enter the time, the hour, the second and the month, the second and the minute, and then you made an effort to search from that data the time, and then you gave the temperature. Now that was complicated because you had to deal with a lot of indexing issues, right? I mean, begin with asking somebody to enter a second separately, minute separately, hour separately itself is a problem. So you should be straightforward. You should ask the user enter the time, and you should give the user the date and the temperature. Straightforward. You was not able to do that because you did not use built-in functions available within Python. So this is what we're going to do today in the third video. And that's the whole purpose, to make your program more intelligent. So we'll be doing what you did already, but in a much more intelligent way, okay, by using built-in functions. What are those functions? These functions: append, sort, index, max, min, len, list, even filtering, right? So we will actually apply these functions that I have given here to make your program intelligent. And there will be only 2 steps in this one. Before I apply these functions, I need to store my data in a particular format, right? So I'll pick up the data, store in a better format. So this is what you did in the last 2 videos, right? I don't want to do that. I want to store my data like this, so that when I process this data, I can simply pick up after the comma. So I want to do a comma separated date storage like this, right? And I want to divide my data when I pick up from this file into 3 lists, not 1, but 3 lists. How do I want to do that? Simply like this, as I'm doing on the screen, right? Let me make you understand the philosophy first of the data storage and processing within the list before I actually do it. So how do I do that? I just need to use built-in function in Python that wherever it sees this comma, split that data and put into a separate list. So what would happen? I'll end up with 3 lists like this. As you see, my data will be stored like this. Now what those 3 lists would mean? What is the first list should be called? The first list would be called the time, right? First will be called the date. Second list would be called the time. Third list will be called the temperature. And on 0 sub date, I'll have 0 sub time and 0 sub temperature for that. Similarly, 1 sub date will have time at 1 sub date will have time at 1 sub date will have on the same index the time and on the same index the temperature. This way I can search quickly. So all I have to do is use index function to search the index of that time, whatever the time is. For example, if I want to search what is the temperature on this time, I need to see which index in this list, which I can call T, is. So this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So index is 4, which means at 4 index in this list, I will find the temperature for it. So I don't have to even write the whole use loop for that. Just one function I will use, which is index, right? And that is here at the in this one of this list, right? This one. So similarly, all these functions are just basic functions. So we'll try these functions to make this more intelligent. But first thing first, in the previous 2 videos, I saved my data like this. I don't want to save it. I want to save it comma separated like this. But the fact is, I don't get data like this from the time. This is the program I copied from the last 2 videos. So I haven't started formatting it. but I just want to show you, if I run this, what you get on the screen. Look at this. Look, this is what you get on the screen, right? Now, the problem with this one is that it is a tuple, right? So when I get my time, look at this. When I get my time, LT, I get my local time in a tuple, and I'm printing this. As a result of this, this is being printed every second, right? There's a second layer. So if you look at it, in this tuple sub 0, right? LT0, it has stored year. LT1, it has stored month. LT2, it has stored date, then hour, then minute, then second. This is day of the week, and this is day of the year, right? So I want to pick up this data from the tuple, and I want to store it like this. So I put my DD, YY, and plus if the date is, let's say, 4, right, it should store it at 04, not 4. Otherwise, when I'm indexing it, I will have a problem. Some 11 is in 2 digits, 4 is in 1 digit. That will create a problem for me when I'm processing it. So I want to DD, YY. This is the format I want. So for that, I can use a built-in function of this, and this way it will be much easier for me to. So I'm going to start this now. I'm going to delete this file, okay, and I'm going to store this in a new file, and let's call this file, what do you want to call this file? I open a new file, f open, okay, and I call it formatted data. Let's call it formatted data. Formatted data dot txt, right? And then I append mod, a new file, I open it, and now I need to create a good format. So I say formatted time, right? I need formatted time. I call it ft, right? Formatted time. Formatted time is equal to what? First, I need to create a nice format for it. So what format? And this is a new function available within Python, where you can use this style of formatting. So you put this curly bracket, and within the curly bracket, you say what you want. So I say I want first 2 decimal, okay, and after 2 decimal, I want a dash, because remember that I wanted a date there, right? So with a dash, then right? So I put the 2 decimal again, like this. I'm trying to create a format, right? 02 D, right? That's 2 decimal again, and then I want another dash, and then I want 4 y, right? So it will be 04 D, 4 decimal, because that would then create a format for me. It'll put month, it could put day, month, and year in 2024, right? So now, after that, I want to put a comma. Remember that? I wanted a comma, right? In the file. I mean, this is the format I'm trying to achieve here. This is how I want to save it, right? So DD, YY, and comma. And I need to get the exact same format. So I'm going to one by one program this format here. Okay, so what next then? Next is again this thing, and I will put there 0, okay, 2, because that's a minute, isn't it? 2D, okay, and after minute, I want to put colon there like this, because minutes, and then I want to do again same thing, 02D, okay, and after that, I want to put this colon again, and finally my seconds, right? 02D, and I will put my seconds there. And the second, I need a space. I don't need a space, even I need a comma there. Okay. And finally, once that is done, then I want to put my temperature, right? So I will just, for temperature, I don't need anything. I'll just put this one. And after temperature, I want to put my backslash after comma. So it goes on next line. This way, I created this format. So it will give me my date like this with comma, then it'll give me my time like this with comma, and then it'll give me my temperature with comma, and after that next line \n, right? So this is what I actually just did in the code. Now I got that, right? Next thing I need to do is, now I'll use the keyword format, right? Got that? Yeah, FORMAT. Now you put a bracket there, and now in that format I need to put the values, right? So remember, what you want to put here first? This one you want to put here date, right? So that's your date that you want to go here. So what is, if you start from here, this is 0, LT0, LT, because this is all coming from LT, right? From tuple. LT1, LT2. So you want to put first LT2, then LT1, and then LT0. That will simply put it there. So I'll say LT1, comma, LT. Oh, first one LT, not 1, is LT2. LT2, LT1, and then third one is LT0. Now what happens is, what happened now? This is basically, this is this row, right? This will be saved here, right? This is actually your month. Okay, and that will be saved here with the dash, and this is your year, 4 digits. So that's why I put 4 digits. So this way, the first one first, the second one second, okay, third one third, like this, right? So this way you can continue. So we have done this. We have done the first one, second one, third one. Now this one is actually your time. This one is your time. So what you want to do is, you want to do comma again, and your time starts where? LT0, 1, 2, 3. LT3, time start from LT3. So you simply put here LT3, okay, comma LT4, comma LT5, right? LT5. Now, what is LT5? This is LT3, 13, 39, LT4, and LT5 are the seconds. So where these will go? These will go here. This is first, if you look at it, now this will go into this. This is second one, right? This is your third one. This is gonna go here in this format here, okay? And then this with the dot, it will go here. Then it will go here, the last one, right? So basically, in the file, it will first put this with the dash, with the comma, then this with the colon because it's a time, and then with the comma, and finally we need to put the temperature. So only thing left is temperature. So where is the temperature? If you look at it, that is your temperature variable, right? All you need to do is copy this and paste it at the end, and that will save your temperature, comma, and we just paste it like this. That's it. And this way it has now properly formatted your time. Pick up the time from, open the file, formatted the time from this tuple where it receives it, and now we need to just write it, right? So what do we do? Remember, file dot write, right? And we just say ft, this time format that we picked up, we're writing into this file, okay? And after that we need to close the file. We say f dot close. That's it. Your file is closed, your temperature, everything will be stored just like this. Now let's run this. So this time, this is a previous file, but I have saved this program in a new file. So what is this file name? Here I think. Formatted data. This is what I'm going to save it in. So when I run this, it will save it into formatted data, and it will appear here, new file, formatted data. So let's run this then. 1, 2, okay, we got an error. Can't switch from automatic field numbering to manual field specification. I had a similar error before as well. So what happens is sometimes you get error because of this formatting. So let me see what mistake I made this time. So we have here this one, fine, no, okay, I missed this one. So look, you need to put here colon. You need to make sure you put colon here, right? No colon missing, okay? Apparently it should be okay now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Enough. Okay. Now I stop this, and you'll see the moment I stop it, there is a new file that has appeared here. What was the file name? Formatted data.txt. Let's see if we got it here or not. It starts with F, isn't it? Here we go. See here? Formatted data.txt. All I need to do is open this one. I open this. Here we go. And I get my data. One thing you notice, right? When I pick up the first tuple, the second was 09. Remember here? 09? Huh? But you see here, it's not just 9. It saved it as 09 because we clarified it in the format, right? So no, we said DD, MM, YY, HH, MM, SS. It gives you 2 digits because we defined it. So we won't have a problem with the processing anymore, right? So this is perfect. Now what we need to do is we have saved our file. Now we need to write what you did in the video 2. We need to write it a completely different way to write that function. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write a new function called search. But that function will be a little bit more intelligent, right? So let's do this a bit more intelligently, right? So I'm going to close this, everything else, and I'm going to start a new program. And I will pick up data from this file, and I will write a new program here. All I need to do is I need to first open this file. What was the file name? Remember the file name? Yeah, file name is what? Data, formatted data, right? Formatted data.txt. And I will open it in a read-only mode because I need it in a read-only mode, right? And then I want to put this one into a list. I'll call it L. I like the short names for a list, so less mistakes you make. So you read, this is what exactly you did in the last program as well. But from here onward, what I want to do is I want to pick up this data and put it, like I explained in the beginning. I want to put this data, the date, in a separate list, this in a separate list, and the temperature in a separate list. Okay, and that's very easy to do. I can use this append function, this one, to do that. So let's do this, right? Okay, so here we are. All I have to do is first create 3 lists, right? What are the 3 lists I need to create? Date. Okay, this is the first list. What is second list? Time. Okay. And third list is temperature, temp. Okay. Now I have this. Now all I need is a small for loop to read these from this L and put into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for let's say line in L, right? I don't have to do anything because I already picked up line by line data into this L tuple. This is my where I picked up the data already line by line. So I don't have to do this. I just do this, and then I say date, right? Dot append, right? If you wanna see something before I actually do this, I want to show you something. Let's see what is in this L, because you want to see what is in this L before you can actually pick up data from there. You print this, you'll know what is in there. Look, this is what is in the L. Yeah? So L has got you this, this date, time, temperature, and then \n. So which means L dot 0 is date, L dot 1 is time, and L dot 2 is temperature. So and then there's a next line, then again 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So this is how you're gonna pick this up here. you want to say for line in L, okay, and then you want to say date dot append, okay, and inside you say L dot 0. L dot 0 mean? What does L dot 0 mean? L dot 0 mean the date. It's going to put into date because that's what it, and then the time is 1, right? So I'm going to do L dot, same thing I'm going to do with the time dot append and L dot 1. And the third one is what? Temperature, temp dot append, and that's going to be L dot 2. So this way I got all my 3 dates, right? And now if when it's done, I just want to print and see if this is what I have picked up, right? So let's say I want to say date, and I will print my whole date list, and then I say time, and I will print my whole time list there. Time, and here I go. Date is equal to this, time is equal to this. Now these are 3 tuples, right? So I just want to make sure I picked up my data right. This is how you troubleshoot, right? Always good to do print commands to troubleshoot. This is temperature, okay, and that's temp. Let's see if it did it or not. Ooh, bingo! Look at this. Look, I picked up my data in 3 tuples. You see? Yeah, I mean you can see that, right? I mean, my look at the first one, date. This is all my dates, right? First date 0, 1, 0, and then we have time. Then we have. Oh, sorry. I did not split it, didn't I? It saved the whole thing. So I made a mistake there. So what I need to do here, because what it did is in each of this date, it pick up the date, time, and temperature. And I did it in all 3. I don't want that. What I want is I want to split my elements of the data with the line, right? So that's why I need to do one thing. I need to write down here. I want to write down here what was that line, right? No, it's L. I can call it. I think I can call it data. Okay, I can call it data. Okay, or it's with small so that you don't get confused. Data dot line dot, and I first strip it so that it removes any empty spaces, and then I want to split it with comma separated lines. So if I do that in this, now what would happen? All I need to do is not write this one in there. I want to write data here. So now it will really split that into comma and give me only 3 lists: one with the time, one with the date, and one with the with the temperature, because I ended up dumping the whole list into each of the lists. I don't want that. I want when on each line where the comma appears, for example here, let me show you. I want like this. I want where the comma appears, I want this to be split in a separate, and here a comma appears separate, and here a comma appears separate. So I want these 3 on single line. I want to break into 3 pieces, okay? And that's what I'm doing here through this code that I wrote. I said data dot line, okay? Sorry, data equal line, not dot line. Data is equal to line dot strip dot split within the loop, okay? So this way it will split my data into multiple elements, multiple parts with the comma, and then it will, now you run it, I will get it separately in each tuple or whatever you want to call it. So let's run this one. Here we go. See, now much more cleaner. So if you look at this date, now in my date list you will only see dates. See, unlike previously. And in my time you'll only see time. In my temp tuple you'll only see temp tuple. So 0 date is for 0 time and for 0 temperature. So I just need to find the index of that time and I'll know the temperature, you know. So this is how they are all indexed now. So my temperature, this date, for this date the temperature is this one, time is this one, and temperature is this one, and similarly further up. So now I have got my format right. Next thing I need to do is, all I have to do is ask the user, enter the time, and I can give him not only the temperature but also the date. How? Very simple, 3-line of code. Using what? Let me show you using what. I will be using index function, this index function. Using this index function, I'll find out the index for the time, and I'll give you the temperature and date for it. This is how easy and intelligent this becomes if you properly use this. So let's move on. I say T. I ask the user to enter the time, right? Enter the time, and I give him format as well. Enter the time, and I give him format. What the format I want to give him? HH, MM, so he doesn't make mistake, right? DD, right? And that's it. I ask him to enter the time in this format, HHM, DD, and once he gives me that, all I need to do is simply say, find the I will look into the time, okay? I'll look into the time tuple list, and I'll say index of what? Index of time, right? T. But I want to index of T, and with this T I can use strip. Why? Because in case the user enters some empty spaces there, you know, I'll use the strip with this, and this will what will happen here? It'll give me in I the index of where the actual time entered by the user. Once I have that, all I need to do is just print like this, the time, the temperature is, and all I need to do is just temp and I. That's it. Because I'll look for the time, and in the temperature same index I'll find the temperature for it. So let's see which temperature you want to find, right? So this is the file we're going to search for. So let's see, we want to look for this one, right? This temperature, okay? And we will give this time 13, 15, 13, and we'll get this temperature, okay? Let's see, 13, 15, 13. Let's run this and check it out. Don't believe me, just run it, execute it, and learn for yourself. Right, okay, here we go. So this program is ready to rock. I'm gonna get rid of this print command so it's more clean, okay? Because it's just putting too much pressure on my screen. So now it's much more cleaner, isn't it? The program is not big if you look at it, right? If you look at the program, it's not very big. It's a small program. But okay, let's do this. Run this. Still, I'm printing this one, so I want to get rid of this print as well, so that I have a clean screen. You know. There we go. Now it's clean. So here, what was the time I wanted to enter? Look at this. I wanted to enter maybe this 13, 50, 13, right? 13, 13, 50, 13. Now I don't have to do everything separately. I just put the exact time, 13, 50, 13, and I enter, and it's going to give me the temperature for it. Here we go. See, simple. And not only this, see, this is the temperature it gave me for this one. If you look at it, this is 13, 50, 30. This one, sorry. This is 13, 50, 30, and it gave me this 214330 temperature. But it should give me the date as well, isn't it? Right? So it's very simple. All I have to do is change here and say comma, and I could say on, and I could just put their date. 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 Okay, so here I do this, and I put there 13, 50, 30, and it'll give me this time, date as well. Here we go. It gave me date as well. Look, it gave me the date as well. So this is how simple this has become for me by actually using this multiple strings. Now I want to move on, and I also told you there are other functions. So what do we have used so far? We have used append, we have used index. Now I want to print the maximum temperature I recorded so far, minimum temperature I recorded so far, and I want to use after that this filter. Filter is very, very good function. And let's basically now move on to the maximum and minimum, and then we move to the filter. I think I can do it in the same line, to be honest. I don't have to write a new program for that line for that. So on the same line I can say this is temperature on that date. However, maximum recorded temp is, and I can just put max onto the temp. I can just put max onto the temp. That's it. And give me the maximum temperature and minimum temperature. Minimum is, I can just put the min here. See, I mean how easy it is to do this, right? And then I run this and it give me more information, like it give me the temperature I'm looking for, right? 30, 50, 30. But it'll give me also the maximum and minimum temperature recorded. Here you go, see? They say on that temperature, this on this date, okay, the max for this time, right? But maximum temperature recorded is this, minimum is this. So you could do so many things. Now let's move on to the filtering things. What I want is, I want to create a filter function so that I can print all the temperature which is above 21. Okay, so how many temperatures are above 21? 22, about 22. 21, let's say 21. So I want to remove the 20 temperatures and only want to do about 21. So how would I do that? I will do a filter, this filter function, right? And to write the filter function, I'm gonna, it's not a big code, it's a very simple code. First, you need to define the function, right? You need to define the function called, call it filter, and I would call it filter temp, okay, filter temperature. Within that, you pass maybe T, temperature, okay? And then what you need to do is, you need to write an if condition, say if, because the temperature is in float, so I need to convert it into float, right? I say float T greater than what? 21, right? Where the value is greater than 21, return true, okay? Else return false. Okay, I don't have to do this. Here you go. Return true and return false. That's it. Nothing less, nothing more. All we have to do is this. And now we just need to call this function to conclude our program. So how do we call it? We basically call it with tuple. So there is a filter function that you need to call with this function. This is your defined function because you define a filter through this function, right? This one. It will return true if it is greater than 21. So you say filter, you want to call it what? Filter temperature? I call it F temp, right? Filter temperature. Filter temperature means the value which I just want it, right? Equal to what? Filter function. This is built-in function, by the way, this filter. Within that, you pass this function. So you copy this function, okay, and pass it within that, like this. And then comma, you pass the filter you want to apply on. You want to apply a filter on the temp, right? This one, right? This is where you're going to apply your filter on this temp tuple. You want to pass this one as well as a comma here, like this. So this way, this tuple is passed with this function that you define, and it will only pick up the values those are greater than 21 and put into this ftemp new tuple. And when you print this new tuple, you will get the filtered values with what you want. So only values those are greater than 21. So let's do this. I have to do this because 1350, 13. Okay, here you go. Filter is empty, my friend. Why filter is empty? That is because I need to convert it into a list. That's another thing you need to learn. Yeah, filter is empty. You didn't get it. You need to convert what you received in the filter into a list, and for that you need this function here, list function. This one. You got a sequence, right? You want to convert this into a list, a tuple. Convert it into a list. Then you can print it. So you just put here simply list like this. Here we go. I just put here list. Now I run this and it should be okay. I hope it won't embarrass me. Bingo. See, you got all the values of temperature. Those are greater than 21. What if I put here 22? Greater than 22. You will only have one value which is greater than 22. This one. That's it. That's the only value you will have if I run it again. So here we go. 13, 50, 13. And this time only one value. You can put whatever condition you want here. You can say between. You can say so much. So this is how you apply filter. So what we learned so far, we have done. We obviously type is easy. You just give you the type of thing. Append we have done, okay, and extend you can, if you want to add more values to the list, temperature add manually, so you can use extend. You can read about it. Index we have done, max we have done, min we have done in this program, length we have done. You know where we did the length? Yeah, length give you the length of the list. You can use that. List we have just converted the list. We have done the filter. Okay, sorting maybe I could do that. So how do I do sorting then? Maybe I want my temperature to be printed in a sorted order, right? Maybe I want to apply this. I want to apply, give me a greater than 21, but when you print it, sort it. Yeah, I can even apply sort here, like this, sort, right? Simple. 13, 50, 13. Ooh, sort isn't defined because sort is with the with you have to call it with, sorry, you have to call it here. You have to call this sorting here. You have to first sort it. Sorted st sorted list equal to I would call it list f temp. Okay, then I want to call it sort. Okay, and this way we could just put this one here. Actually, I think it goes with this one, isn't it? What's that? F temp. Then sort. Okay. 13, 50, 13. Here you go. So it's sorted. Well, sorted with what? It put it in st, and then I need to print here st, isn't it? I need to put st here. So print it. 13. Oh no, I need to run it again. Sorry. 13, 50, 13. Non-type object isn't defined. Sorry, the sorting Python sort. Sorry about that. Method. Sometimes you forget how you apply it. It's easier to quickly go there and check it out. So basically you just apply it directly on the thing, so it gives you the sorted one. So that's how we did, right? we convert it into a list. Okay, we can do this one here. Instead of this, we can do dot sort like this, and they should print sorted 13, 50, 13, none. So it did not really sort it, did it? If you try this one right here, so these are the cars, and you sort them, and another thing, yeah, it has to be a string, isn't it? So yeah, okay, sorry. You could do this way. List st dot sort, and then I do st. $13, $50, $13. Here you go, it's sorted now, right? So you can just call the sort on directly list, it will sort it, and then it can print it for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and any questions, yeah, drop me a